The last area of this formula is that you have to give them first steps. You have to make it easy for people to buy. Right? As Mail Emery does actually say, and he's a really good marketeer, Mal, I must give credit where credit's due, is that he actually calls it low cost, low involvement. You've got to get them on the journey. And first steps is you've got to make it easy for people to say yes. You've got to actually make it so they just fill in something, even if it's low cost, even if it's to give something away at the beginning, because you're trying to start the engagement. And recognise, if you can operate in these three quadrants in your marketing and your selling, and ask yourself the question, am I making them dissatisfied? What techniques, what sales systems do I do? Many companies have diagnostics. They have questionnaires to do that. Then, do I provide them vision? Do I actually know how to actually say the word imagine? Do I know how to cast the dream? And do I make it easy for people to buy? Absolutely. I will assure you that your conversion rate will go through the roof. I have my conversion rate and I don't sell anymore. Right? I got exhausted because my conversion rate was hitting 95%. 95%. And I remember, because, I don't really, I have a practice, and that's why I write books, because I get better leverage that way, and that's why I speak. But when I was doing coaching, I was just exhausted because I was the business. And I used to say, I don't want to come to the meeting. So I said, I want to come. I actually used to avoid this technique because it gave me such results. In the first year of leaving the corporate world of Harvey Norman, all that I did for the first year was business coaching. And I generated $380,000 using this technique. One particular prospect that I went and saw, who was a business owner, first time ever, $120,000 worth of billings off the bat, off a cold call, in one transaction. This is lethal stuff. But please, use it with good intent. I actually have a passion. I actually believe I have a role to help people. I love helping people in business. I'm totally passionate about transforming. I actually have to take people to the light occasionally. I don't like ignorance. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is tragedy. Sometimes I have to drag people out kicking and screaming, saying, no, I don't want to go there. I'm saying I'm doing this because I like you. So you've got to have the intent of the heart. Now, as I finish, I just want to give you a story, because I love stories. I want to give you a story about how I was sold to. And I didn't even see this coming. And this is an amazing technique if you understand the process here. Is that, we've had our current business about 6 years. About 5 years ago, me and my wife, Ingrid, says, I go to her, what do you want for your 40th birthday? And she goes, I want a diamond ring. And we just started the business, and her birthday was the 8th of January. So I said, we should have enough. And this is a sizable purchase. So I said, we should have enough money. That'll be sweet. So therefore, 9 months prior to the 9th of January, we decide to go away to Melbourne for a weekend away without the kids. You know what I'm talking about? Happy days? Okay, you got it? And as we go to Melbourne, we check in to the Crown Casino, not because we're gamblers, but because they were offering extraordinary rates because they opened up a new wing. And I go there, and when we get checked in, they give you a newspaper, and it's the Herald Sun. And on page 7 of the Herald Sun, they have a full-page advertisement on page 7 or something, advertising a jewellery sale in the casino the next day. Now remember, my wife doesn't want it. She's actually saying to me, and she looks at the advertisement, and she says to me, Tony, I know we can't afford it. Can we just go and have a look? My wife is a really good steward with money. She's better than me. She's fantastic. So I go, sure, why not? Because here's a philosophy if you're married, if you're a guy, happy wife, happy life. I got that. Been married for 17 years. I go, yeah, sure, no problems, honey. So we go down there after breakfast. I walk into the room, and these guys are good. Unbelievable. They've got a section for men. Big screen TV, Nintendo, PlayStation, orange juice, coffee, newspapers. In my stupidity, I say, honey, take as long as you want. I don't even get approached by the salesperson. Nothing. My wife goes to the counter. I'm in my little cave with all the other cavemen. And I'm there, and she goes to the counter. And in about 5 minutes, she comes to me, my wife, and she says, honey, have you seen some of these designs? They're amazing. And I go, yeah, but honey, we're not going to buy. So she goes back. Then she comes back in another 5 minutes. You should check out some of these designs. We can get ideas of what we're going to do in Sydney in January. And I go to myself, happy wife, happy life. I said, I'll go. The salesperson doesn't even speak to me. I'm behind my wife, like really reluctant. Like, oh, do I have to? And I'm looking at the stuff and she's showing to me. And she's getting all excited. And I go to my wife, Ingrid, the jewelry's for you. Whatever you like, I'll like. So I go back to my cave. Then she comes back again. She says, Tony, we've got an American Express. I said, but honey, we have to pay the money back. We don't have the money. Then she goes away again. Then she comes back. And she calculates the frequent flyer points on the Amex. And because she's a New Zealander, she tells me that we could go to New Zealand free of charge. I go, that's amazing. But honey, remember our deal. She goes back. This is the 5th attempt. Remember, the salesperson's never spoken to me, never talked, will not talk. She comes back again. And she says, Tony, have you seen some of these prices? They're amazing. I've been speaking to the owners. They're not retailers, they're wholesalers. They only do this 2 times a year. Once in Melbourne, once in the Gold Coast. They normally sell to retail. We're going to get the same price that a retailer would buy them at. And I said, that's extraordinary, honey. But and I said, there's always a sale on. And you know what? Remember our deal. And she goes away. And then she does the close. This is the close. She comes back to me a little bit more determined next time and says the following. How come every time you want to buy something, you just buy it? How come when you want to buy your big screen tape, you just don't even ask me, you just bring it home? When you're buying your golf clubs, you just buy it home. Now, I have given birth to 2 of your children. The last one was 14 hours labour. I deserve this. Now, who believes that I bought the product? Unbelievably. And here's the principle. There's an old saying, okay? Because this is an amazing technique of understanding people. It's called the divide and conquer close. The divide and conquer close is that you don't have to sell to both people. You only have to wind up the more enthusiastic one. Because there's an old principle of marketing, sex sells. You know what sex also does? It also closes sales. Because I realised that if I did not say yes to that weekend, there would be a huge no for everything. So guys, I hope that has enlightened you, enriched your life. And please recognise that what I've shared with you is predominantly an understanding of the psychology of persuasion. Alright, because as Dale said, there is no formula. You've just got to understand humanity. Once you understand humanity, it is very easy to sell. And you know what is really fun about selling? The product is insignificant. You know what the real fun is? Is in the mystery of the strategy. That's what I like. I don't care what I sell anymore, just as long as I can sell. Because to me, the fun is in the art